It's time now for Voices of the Region, when we hear from an area journalist about stories making news. This week, our guest is Heidi Holtan from KAXE Community Radio in Grand Rapids.
The Secretary of State, Steve Simon, was in northern Minnesota recently. We had a chance to talk with him about some of the election law changes in the 2023 Minnesota legislative session, which he described as an extraordinary session for democracy with a once-in-a-generation change. New laws were established to enhance voter registration, add pre-registration for 15 and 16-year-olds, and restore the right to vote for people who have left prison behind. There was also protection of election administration and workers. I asked Secretary Simon about citizens' involvement in elections.
So in Minnesota, we call our poll workers election judges. They don't wear black robes. They don't have a gavel in their hand like a judge, but we call them election judges. And I like that title because they are judges in many ways. They're committed to fairness, not any particular side. They're committed to absolutely down-the-middle fairness. They take an oath to that effect as well. And by the way, being an election judge is a paid opportunity, not a volunteer job. Some people think these are all volunteers. They're not. They're paid. Remember, our office, the Office of the Secretary of State, we don't count a single vote, ever. That all happens in townships and cities and counties across Minnesota. And that teamwork is what really, really makes our election system particularly good and particularly effective. So we need 30,000 people every general election. 30,000. That's a small army to do that very important job.
A lot of the country has been experiencing extreme heat as well as haze and smoke that have pushed our air quality indexes into alarming levels that can affect sensitive populations and people who work outside. The Minnesota Department of Health found that particle pollution is linked to lung and heart diseases. We talked with our regular guest, Tornado Bob, or Bob Konzemius. He's a meteorologist who works in the wind energy field, and he helped us understand what's going on this summer.
Yeah, once the fires get started, they usually keep going because Canada doesn't have much in the way of resources. A lot of the areas are pretty remote where these fires start, so it's not really very easy to get in there and put in a lot of firefighting resources, at least ground-based resources. You can do it by air a bit, but in Canada was pretty dry, at least especially over Alberta and Saskatchewan. Kind of the western part of Canada earlier in the spring. So that got things started. And during the summer, it's just hard to get a lot of cool, humid conditions and rainy conditions, steady rain to put them out over a widespread area. You do get thunderstorms, which can have some heavy rain. But the problem is those is they also have lightning, and they can also reignite fire. They can ignite new fires. So that's what you battle pretty much all summer long until things really start to cool down late in the summer. So once the fires get going, they usually stay going for a while, especially if you keep igniting new ones. It's hard to keep up with them.
Bob says to keep watch on the air quality index, haze and smoke will be going on through most of our summer.